Good evening, everybody. Meeting after a long gap of 1 week in the session of Madhya Medica. Today, we're going to learn very important remedy, most commonly used in our day-to-day acute as well as chronic practice, the Lachesis Muta. I know everyone knows the Lachesis. There is no need to explain Lachesis because everyone reads it and understands it with their own perspective, and it has been well taught in the classes as a remedy is well proved, as well as many aspects of lachesis are somewhere related with the many people. And that's why this remedy is a wonderful remedy. But still, I want to share one case, very interesting case in my practice. It was, I think I have shared this case with you or in some seminar, but it was very interesting in my life, which has explained that how remedy acts at the center, even to the inner conscience, and brings out the inner conscience. Around 52 years, professor, a very good orator, a little, generally a weak, in a weak constitution, not a very heavy, weak constitution, thin but fair, came to me. I was knowing him as he was a teacher, very good teacher and very good orator. I have listened him his many lectures. He was a teacher of in the regular arts, science, commerce college, but a wonderful personality. If there is a mob of even lakhs of people, and if he starts speaking, no one leaves that. Everyone used to sit for hours together to listen him. He was so wonderful speaker. And he came to me in an absolutely different, what you can say, a despaired look. So I greeted him when he entered. He looked at me and never gave a smile. I talked with him. Sir, what's the matter? What is the problem? He has shown me 2, 3 files of psychiatrists taking treatment from them since last 7, 8 months without any result. And he was looking absolutely disturbed. So I started with the case. So, sir, please tell me everything so that I will help you definitely from homeopathy. And I'm damn sure I will going to help you. Only thing is that I must know each and everything. What's the matter? What has wrong with you? And why you are having such a problem? He was diagnosed by a psychiatrist deep depression. So he started narrating. That is the only question I asked throughout the case. That's all. Nothing else I have asked. And thereafter, I become a very good listener for him. He started explaining that, doctor, what's the matter? That's what you have asked. Yes, definitely there is a matter. Myself, I'm also a teacher in a good college. My wife, she is also a teacher. In fact, she was a principal in one school. And everything was going on fine. Something was wrong with the management of that school where my wife was headmaster. And what's the matter, no one knows. But something, she was blamed for many things over there from the committee member. And since then, everything has changed. She told me that, doctor, I have not done anything, or sir, I have not done anything, and nothing wrong, but the committee members basically suspended her from her post of headmaster. And case was going on in court. Ultimately, we won after 2 years. But what the things we have suffered in last 2 years? Problem was that without any reason, she was suspended from the post of headmaster and blaming certain things. We are such a people that we never want a single penny from others. And that's why it was a big disturbance to her first, and then later on it came to me. Because first she got disturbed. She was so collapsed that I was to sit with her. This was going on, and one side we could not able to discuss the things with our son, both sons, and they were not knowing the things. Somehow we overlooked in last 2 years with the elder son. And what has happened to him, we don't know. One of the day, he tried to suicide himself. Luckily, he survived from that. But that was another big thing which has happened in my life. Sir, everything was fine, everything, nothing the matter. I never even, there was not a single quarrel between us, not single quarrel between the ourselves and our son. Why he attempted, no one was knowing, and it disturbed me again. And thereafter, I never have interest in him. It was big grief. I could not talk with anyone, could not share with anyone. And it, why this has happened to me, I could not understand. He was talking and talking, and all things he has explained in detail. Everything he has explained in detail. He said that when this was going on, no one was there to serve us, to discuss with us. Nothing. We were 4 people in the house, and it is as if there was complete quietness, nothing. Till everything is going on in such a way, and people were calling me for different lectures. I was going there. I'm giving lectures. And still in this state also, I used to give lectures and people used to listen me quietly. I'm having hold of that, but I could not teach myself to come out of this situation. I'm very religious person, doctor. Every day at 3 o'clock, I used to wake up and I used to sit for meditation around 3:30 to 4 daily since last many years. I think 30 years I have never missed this thing. And I used to do that sadhana. And during that meditation, I used to feel very relaxed whenever I used to do meditation. But what has happened in last 6 months, I was doing the meditation. I was able to concentrate and I used to go into the meditation, and there was something happening, that there was a lamp which was there, and all of a sudden it starts moving, and suddenly it used to close down. It used to absolutely stop, and that disturbed me a lot. I feel it is something unnatural. Something is happening in our life because of which such a thing was happening in meditation, and I got disturbed tremendously thereafter. I'm feeling that something is going to be wrong in my life, and this is so disturbing that I could not tell this to anyone. You are a doctor, that's why I have shared, and you told me that everything you must share. This is the thing which disturbed me a lot. In fact, more than that, the things happened over there. I feel this is something misfortune will going to happen in my life. And he was explaining each and everything throughout the case. He never have a single smile. I tried to make some jokes or something, but nothing worked. And it was really a deep depression. Certain futures were there. He was having a specs since childhood, big specs, black colored specs, which used to be a common fashion at that time, with thick glasses and thick frame, black frame. That was there. Second thing, whenever he was talking, his tongue was coming out, protruding tongue, and which have black spots on it. Third important thing which he may explain that doctor, in all seasons I desires, I require the fanning. I used I used to have a fan by any means. I could not remain without fan. Fourth thing he has mentioned that was very interesting for me, that he used to get a burning of feet and he used to keep them outside the covering at night. Used to keep his feet outside. Then last thing which he has mentioned, which was again very important, that every summer since childhood, I used to get a bleeding from nose. Every summer, 2-3 times at least during the summer, I used to get bleeding from nose. And this was the case. It was a case of deep depression. So I repertorized all things, but things were very clear that used to be, because there was not a single, he was communicative expansive and he was very good orator. And he had dreams of snakes. That was another important thing, but that was not the thing on which I have prescribed. I have taken the whole totality, taken into consideration the communicative expansive, then loquacity, then elements from grief, elements from mental trauma, all those things which I have repertorized. And then ultimately found to be a lachesis, clear-cut lachesis. No other remedy for comparison. But question was that I have utilized lachesis for females n number of times during climacteric period, because that was a clear-cut physical indication with which it was very easy to prescribe. In females, the jealousy, the suspiciousness, which were very characteristic, used to be happened, and that's why it's very easy. This is rather different. No one considers that lachesis is a good remedy for such type of depression. Never, generally never thought. But still, I hope when repertorization was through and through lachesis, I have given him lachesis 1 m 3 doses, kept him on placebo, asked him to meet me after 10 days. See, the remedy, if it is perfect, how it works. After 10 days, when he entered in my clinic, the entry was absolutely laughing and smiling and entered, doctor, you have made a magic in my life. And he has checked me. And he was so happy, so happy. And he told everything what has happened after taking the doses and mouth. Just I went home and I was changed. I was a different person when I entered in my home. My wife said, what has happened to you? You have changed. And I got good sleep whole night. After a long time, I waked at 5 o'clock instead of 3:30. I got very good sleep. Then I sat there for meditation. Even though it was late, I sat over there for meditation. And went into the meditation. And I want to tell you my experience, sir. I have told you one thing, that there was a lamb and which used to get moved and all of a sudden stop. Things were rather different in the meditation. There was a small lamp which was lightning, and there was whole light which used to happen over there. And whole perspective of my life have changed only because of that. On that day, I saw that, and thereafter whole life has changed. And I'm again original myself. So see, this is the Lachesis. If a remedy acts at the core, it works like that. It was a wonderful experience to just listen. Lachesis is so depicting, penetrating remedy. If it is a perfect remedy, it used to do a miracle a number of times. So this was one interesting case which I wanted to share with you, and it was wonderfully recovered with Lachesis 3 doses, nothing required thereafter. I was following him for 6 months with placebo. No more repetition of the higher potency also required. He came out of that completely. He started calling me Mauli because this was a very interesting word. He used to be a very religious person, very religious person. So this is a good case of Lachesis. And second experience which I want to share with you was again interesting. That was actually I have not decided to, but today I will going to share cases and then we'll enter into the Alinsky notes. Because cases we have many cases, but that second case was also very interesting. He was a person nearly about around 60 years of age, and he was brought to me with his son and 2 3 people. The thing has happened that he was the uncle of a very big practitioner over here, gynecologist, and his uncle, and had a severe silencer once on left lower extremity in an accident. And they have done all everything. He was admitted to the orthopedician. But what has happened that whole wound over there that has become so severe that it was fully swollen. Left lower extremity, it was fully swollen and nothing was working. In fact, the orthopedician and then surgeon who have seen him, because he was the very close person of a gynecologist, so everyone was there, and they have ultimately coming to the conclusion that they have to do the amputation of left lower extremity. Nothing was working. It was so severe lymphangitis, vasculitis, everything was there, and there were no pulsations felt, and it was very, very tremendously dangerous looking. Left lower extremity was there, and he he told me in the morning that I want to send my uncle to you. Let us see what homeopathy do. If homeopathy works, it's better. If it is not there, we have to go for amputation decision. So let us see what happens. So he was brought to me. I was there. He was not able to sit in chair. He was lying down in the bed. I took his history, short history, because he was not in a condition because it was so painful. But picture was very clear. The whole left lower extremity, it was swollen like this and full of edema, as if there is a pus collected, but nothing was coming out, and it was very offensive smelling. And whole leg was bluish purplish in color. Left lower extremity, bluish purplish in color. It was looking like bluish purplish. I was trying to feel the pulse, but it was not possible because of swelling. So much swelling. In fact, he said that it was kept on. It was raised throughout the night, but still swelling never came down. He was on antibiotics. He was on that chimoral fort, then those chymotrypsin and etc. The soft tissue anti-inflammatory drugs, as well as the regular anti-inflammatory drugs. Then he was also on antacids. Everything was going on, but nothing was working. So that was the decision they have taken, that go for amputation. He was very typical Lachesis. Typical, all those features of Lachesis were there, that the having very typical glasses of Lachesis. He was a religious personality, having protruding tongue, very hot in constitution, and mm, he was he was asking me, doctor, is it possible that I will get cured with this homeopathy? I never believed, I have not taken homeopathy up till now, but still my nephew, he said that let us try homeopathy before going for operation. So, and he had given good history even for 15 minutes. Even though he was in pain, he has given good history, but he was lamenting about his pain tremendously. So that was the case, and I have considered Lachesis the remedy. I have given Lachesis, but in low potency, I have given him Lachesis 30, 3 doses, and asked. I have applied a calendula mother tincture on the whole lower extremity. On a lint, I have dropped the calendula, and it was kept on the whole lower extremity. Asked them to return tomorrow, and then the next day he came, and there was a small aperture which has developed in the ankle. And he said, since morning this has been there, and at least one glass of pus up till now has been dropped out from that aperture. And within a 24 hours, the swelling was half reduced, half reduced. So I just observed and I said, let it appear, let it come out, don't do anything. I have asked them to continue with calendula application, and that's all. No more repetition of the remedy. Just I have added, I have, in fact, I have given Silicia 6x along with that to him by killing the cell. I have asked him again, meet me tomorrow. And on third day, the whole pus was drained and leg was looking like a leg. It was not looking like a leg earlier. It was looking like just elephant's leg. It was completely drained out with the help of that. Even in the morning, this gynecologist called me and said, Prasad, you have done magic with my ankle. Really, it was magic for us because we have not considered, nothing was happening, nothing was. And now the things have changed. It was looking like a good leg. Pulsations are there, good pulsations are there, both even the foot pulsations, they have reappeared, and it was looking absolutely healthy. And within span of 15 days, everything healed, nothing was removed, nothing cut, no cut has been taken, and whole left lower extremity recovered completely. So this was a wonderful experience of the Lachesis in case of gangrenous looking infective pathology in left lower extremity covered with Lachesis. Never forget to miss a purple color on the eruptions, on the ulcers, on the swellings. If it is having a purplish hue and if it is left lower extremity, it is a wonderful remedy. Basically, in varicose ulcers, never forget Lachesis when ulcers looks like this. And if it is very specifically left ankle, then always be confirmed with the Lachesis. It is a wonderful remedy having action over there. So this was second interesting case with which I have approached, and the Lachesis worked in that case. It was 30 was given because it was not a susceptibility like a first case. It was susceptibility which was hampered, in fact, because of lot of antibiotics, lot of medicine, and because of which it came down. This fellow recovered so nicely with Lachesis, and thereafter whole family was my patient. So Lachesis is such a remedy which works in such in a acute way. It has a place. It covers the psychosyphilitic miasm. It is a very deep acting remedy. It has 30 to 40 days of action. The remedy was proved by Dr. Constantine Herring, and In fact, he suffered from that poisoning, and ultimately he has published that whole paper, how he has suffered from that, and whole picture of Lachesis came into existence because of Dr. Herring. So wonderful remedy prepared from the poison of Surukuk snake used to be useful in our clinical practice, specifically in infective pathologies, acute pathologies, where blood is at the fault, when the bleeding is the problem, when coagulation gets hampered, when septicemia is there, this remedy works in a very wonderful way. Climacteric syndrome, first remedy to be think of in practice, first remedy to be think of. Then you can think of other remedies, the sanguinaria, the sepia, and many more. But first remedy, always think about the Lachesis. You just check it whether it matches over there. So such a wonderful remedy is there. I have not started with Allen's keynotes today. I will keep this as it is, and will meet on Wednesday, not tomorrow, with Allen's keynotes directly, and we'll start with learning the Lachesis in next lecture from Allen's keynotes. So I have shared two cases and some perspective about the Lachesis. A hot remedy, in fact, thin looking personalities, they are not obese, and generally requires a fanning a lot with a hemorrhagic diathesis. So that's all for today. We'll meet on Wednesday at the same time with the Allen's keynotes, and we'll learn Lachesis on that day. Thank you and good night.
Thank you very much, sir.
Good night, sir.
Good night.